All right, let's dive in. We're heading into the pristine, high-stakes medical world of Singapore. But this isn't your typical story about saving lives. No, this is about a brilliant doctor, a dedicated nurse, and a betrayal so deep that the very tools used to heal get twisted into weapons of absolute destruction. It all boils down to this one chilling question, right? What happens when the people we literally trust with our lives become the ones who are orchestrating their end? This is a story about how obsession can fester in a place meant for healing and how a mind trained to cure disease can pivot to causing it. So let's meet the two people at the absolute heart of this storm. On one side, you have this celebrated, top-of-his-field doctor. On the other, a hardworking, dedicated nurse. They work in the same prestigious hospital, but as you're about to see, they might as well be living on different planets. And I mean, just look at the massive gap between their lives here. Dr. Marcus Tan is the poster child for success. We're talking Harvard-educated chief of infectious diseases living in a luxury home. And then you have Isabel Cruz. She's a nurse from the Philippines, lives in a public housing flat, and sends her pay back home to support her family. This huge power imbalance, well, it's the fault line that's going to run under this entire story. So here's this guy who on paper has it all, the career, the perfect family, the social status, but underneath all that polish, he's just empty. He's climbed every mountain he ever set out to, and now he's standing at the top alone, just asking himself, is this it? What's next? And it's that void that opens the door for everything that's about to go wrong. And so these two incredibly different lives start to collide. Now, it doesn't begin with some crazy spark of passion. It actually starts with professional respect. He sees her as this brilliant, compassionate nurse, and she sees him as a genius doctor. But that clean professional line, it's about to get very, very blurry. So how did it happen? Well, their connection grew in these really specific, intense moments at work. Marcus was first blown away by Isabel's deep clinical knowledge and empathy with an HIV patient. Those professional chats soon turned into personal coffees. Then, one grueling night shift, they bonded over the insane stress of the job. And it all just culminated after the shared trauma of losing a patient. That grief, that's what led to the first kiss. And those were his words to Hare right after that first kiss. I know we shouldn't, but I can't stop thinking about you. That's the moment. That's when they both admit they're crossing a line they can never uncross. There's no going back from here. For a year and a half, think about that, 18 months, they build this secret life together in a rented apartment. It became their little bubble, a world where he could finally be vulnerable and she could feel cherished. And it felt so real, it felt like it could last forever, but the whole thing was built on a foundation of lies that was just waiting to crumble. And this is where everything changes. The carefully constructed world they built for themselves is about to be absolutely shattered by one single piece of news from Marcus's real life. 3 little words from his wife, Jennifer. I am pregnant. And just like that, poof, Marcus's double life is over. The secret world he built with Isabel is no longer a possibility. He has to make a choice, and that choice is going to have utterly devastating consequences. And the way he ends it is just brutal. He doesn't even give her the dignity of a real conversation. Nope, he calls her down to a hospital parking garage and cuts her out of his life with the same surgical precision he'd use in an operating room. He tells her their 18-month affair was never serious, that it was just a convenience. It's that cold, calculated cruelty that plants the seed for everything that's coming next. Just when you think it can't possibly get any worse, it does. Isabel discovers she is also pregnant with his child. The very problem Marcus thought he'd solved by ending the affair has just come roaring back, forcing him into one final cold-hearted transaction. He meets her one last time, and he hands her an envelope. Inside, $5,000. No motion, no apology. Just cash and the business card for a discreet clinic. He treats their relationship, their unborn child, like it's just some medical problem to be solved, a loose end to tie up. And for Isabel, this is the final, dehumanizing blow. This betrayal, it doesn't just break Isabel, it fundamentally transforms her. The heartbreak and the humiliation, they don't just crush her. They forge her into something else entirely. Her grief crystallizes into this cold, methodical, and frankly terrifying plan for a very, very specific kind of justice. This right here is the turning point. Isabel hears these words from another patient, a woman who got HIV from her husband's affair, and it's like she's looking in a mirror. In that moment, something clicks. She decides that Marcus's consequences have to match the devastation he caused. He didn't just break her heart, he infected her life. So now she will infect his. And the plan she comes up with is just chilling in its clinical precision. She uses her access to the hospital lab to get her weapon, high viral load HIV samples. She then uses the very scientific knowledge they once shared to make the virus even more potent. And the delivery system? Oh, she chooses his favorite expensive wine, turning his own sophistication against him. She sets the perfect trap, and he has absolutely no idea he's about to walk right into it. So the final scene plays out in the exact same apartment where they built their secret world. She stages the whole thing as this mature, civilized goodbye playing right into his ego. He thinks he's in control, that she's accepted his decision like a good girl. He has no idea that he is literally drinking his own destruction. And there it is, the reveal. After he's finished his wine, she calmly explains exactly what she's done. No screaming, no crying. She delivers his diagnosis with the same clinical detachment he used on her. She turned their entire shared history into a biological time bomb, and she just lit the fuse. His fate is sealed. With a trap sprung, we now get to watch the aftermath. You see, Isabel's revenge wasn't designed for a quick, clean end. No, it was designed for a slow, agonizing, and total dismantling of the man who destroyed her. This timeline just shows the shockingly rapid collapse of his entire world. First, you have 3 months of pure psychological torture just waiting for the test results. Then, month 3, the positive test confirms his fate. Month 4, he's forced to confess to his pregnant wife, who then discovers she's also infected. By month 6, his family, his career, his reputation, everything he valued is systematically destroyed. And the final result is just total comprehensive ruin. His health, gone. His family, shattered. His career, over. His freedom, gone. Isabel's revenge wasn't just about getting even. It was about total annihilation. She wanted to leave nothing standing, and she succeeded. So what about Isabel? Well, she just disappears. She flees the country, leaving no trace behind. The police can't really prove what happened since Marcus's only evidence would be confessing to his own adultery. But in one final tragic twist, it turns out that Isabel also tested positive for HIV, leaving this awful unanswered question. Did she get it from Marcus, or did she accidentally infect herself during her own act of revenge? Which brings us to the final, haunting question of this whole story. She got her perfect revenge. He paid a price far, far beyond a broken heart. But in the end, both of their lives were completely destroyed, forever bound by the very virus she used as a weapon. So you have to ask yourself, when revenge is this complete, is there ever really a winner? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? How easily love can curdle into hate, and how the deepest wounds can lead to the most tragic and complete destruction.